Ahoy there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Olusegun Oyekami of Nosa Capital, coming to you on a rather cool but beautiful afternoon here in the Southern Hemisphere. And we're going to be looking at Ethereum. Now, I've done some analysis recently, and you've seen it, and I think we should just continue. I wanted to do some yesterday, but I kind of got shocked by the price of the gas prices for Ethereum. I mean, for instance, let's have a quick look here. And as you can see, the slow is 48, standard 48, fast 49, and rapid is 62 gray. If I told you that about 12, 13 hours ago, or maybe a little bit longer, maybe 14 hours, maybe a little bit longer, the price of gray was 1,111 gray. Unbelievable. And it came down to 622. I mean, these are just ridiculous prices, as I'm sure you'll all agree with me, because many thought, I think one of the things that happened is that many people thought that with the 1559 stuff, things were going to get cheaper. It seems as if things have got more expensive, and I'm kind of not surprised to see the price of Ethereum kind of go up. And I think it's one of the biggest bets for the year. I think people should. I'm no financial advisor, of course, but if you're going to make any money in crypto, I think Ethereum is the place to be. Far more than Bitcoin, I believe. But that's my personal belief. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the charts. For the weekly chart here, as you can see, possibly the most important component here is the Chiku span, which is running free. And when the Chiku span runs free, believe me, the price runs free. It's not stuck within the price action, it just runs free. Slight concern here, the Kijun Sen is still above the Tenkan Sen. You could kind of say, okay, what's that all about? But I wouldn't worry too much about that because it's very strong. You can see that the cloud here has been mostly at an angle, slightly going sideways there. I think that was from the recent action. And perhaps the confirming bit down is down here. And as you can see in this particular indicator, which is the Laguerre RSI and the choppiness indicator, you can see that there's plenty of energy in the choppiness, which is the yellow one here. And as for this cyan one, it's going up. And you can see the indicator saying that its prices are going up. So there's strength in this, very much strength in the weekly chart. And remember, the higher time frames determine the overall direction of the market. But the changes come from the inside out. So let's go down to the daily chart. And here we can see this is most definitely bullish, as you can see. And here, this is exactly what you like to see. You've got your Chiku span out of the cloud running free. Your price action here out of the cloud running free. You've got the Tenkan Sen and Kijun Sen also out of the cloud action and running free. And you've got the Tenkan Sen, which is this blue line here, above your Kijun Sen. That tells you all is well, all is bullish. Here as well, the cloud is at an angle, an upward angle, telling you all is well. Now, just to buttress that, you look down, you can see that our Laguerre RSI is flat. When you see that flat, that tells you that it's just going in that direction and upwards. Had it been the other way around at the bottom, it would have been confirming the overall trend. As for the choppiness index, the choppiness is about 43.45. Anything above 38.2 or below 38.2 tells you what's going to happen. And if it's below 38.2, then you start getting a bit worried. And if it's over 61.2, that means that the tank is full and there's plenty of action to come. Notice that these numbers are Fibonacci numbers. I said 61.8. I beg your pardon. Are Fibonacci numbers. So please do take note of that. Now, the only concern here in this particular chart here is that we can see that the price action is getting a bit far away from the Kijun Sen. Let's see how far. Let's go from the bottom here. Let's bring it down there. So we're looking at about 20.7, about $658. That will concern you to some extent, that because when the price action is too far from the Keynesian sen, that means it's either overbought or oversold, and that tells you to start beginning to adjust your position. I think that this run here will hit about 3,004 before we begin to see any reversal in the price. Anyway, let's go down to the bridge, which is the 4-hour, and I call it the bridge because it's the bridge between the swing traders and of course the long-term traders. And this is most definitely bullish, as you can see. Price action running free, Chuku span beautiful, Keynesian Tenkan sen going nicely, price action not far from the Keynesian sen, the cloud nicely and pointing upwards, slight sideways movement. Of course, you can understand things are not going to go up all smoothly, things are not just going to go straight up, but hey, we're looking good. Coming down here, we can see that our Lagara RSI is telling us that it's upwards and it's just straightforward. It's just telling us that hey, this is trending upwards, which is good. And our choppiness here, the chop is at a 62.24, which is above the 61.8, which means that the tank is full. And I believe me, this thing is still going up. Like I said, I think it's going to hit about 3,004 before we begin to see reversals. Now, let's go back to the weekly here and have a quick look at the let's take out the Ichimoku and then put in the bull bear market. Now, if you look at that, remember I told you. Now, for those of you who haven't watched any of my previous videos, you will know that this moving average cloud here is between the 20 weekly SMA and the 21 weekly EMA. SMA is the simple moving average, EMA is the exponential moving average. I'm not going to get all technical on you and tell you what the difference is, but as you can see, if you look at this chart as a whole, if you take a look carefully, you will see that every time, most of the time, should I say, not every time, but most of the time, that the 21 weekly EMA is above the 20 weekly SMA, the prices go up. If it's beneath, it goes down. And now we're just waiting here for this crossover, which is not too far. I think if you look at the two of them, they're very close. The 20 weekly is $2,526.79, while the 21 weekly is at $2,353. So very, very close. I expect a crossover. Why? Because right now, if you look at it, if you look here, let's increase the size there. If you look at that, you've got this candle closing above the 20 weekly. You've got this candle here is also closed above. When I say close, I'm talking about the closing price is above. That's the second one. This is the third one. That tells you that hey, this thing is definitely going up. And this definitely means that very soon, in a not too distant future, we're going to get a crossover of the 21 weekly crossing over the 20 weekly. And when that happens, the price goes up. Remember, I always look at the 21 weekly. But I added this and I built this moving average cloud based on discussions I had with some of my old friends who actually use it. So I said, okay, let's just have a look and let's put it on and see. And you will notice that some of my videos now, I have been looking at that more closely and talking about it. I'm expecting crypto prices to continue to go up. And while we're at it, let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin. I mean, I'm not talking about Bitcoin, but let's have a quick look at that and see. And as you can see, look at the price of Bitcoin. First here, this first candle here, the closing just right on the 20 weekly, and now the next closing price is above the 20 weekly. And if you look at the difference between the 21 weekly and the 20 weekly, you will see that the 20 weekly is at 43,352 and the 21 weekly is at 40,414 here, which means that there could be a crossover very, very soon. If you look down, you can see that the choppiness is extremely strong at about 62.53. So that tells you that there's plenty of energy in the tank. There's plenty of fuel in that tank. And of course, our Lagarde RSI is trending upwards. Just a very quick point: the Lagarde RSI, ladies and gentlemen, is a non-linear indicator. Now, most people we're always using linear, indicators. But as we all know, the price action is not linear; it's non-linear. Therefore, I think it'd be always advisable to use a non-linear indicator if you can. I just like to put it to see whether there's any strength in the market. And finally, we've got about Bitcoin at the moment is trading at about 46,078, or just switch over to 46,084 and 82. So you see it's all close. It seems to be well. And I shall do a video on Bitcoin very soon, maybe later this afternoon. So, ladies and gentlemen, and until that time, enjoy yourself. And always remember, keep your eyes and ears open and your trading sharp. Have a good one. Bye.